Anjanette, and this is CJ Boyd, and this is Real Life of the Entrepreneurs. So, CJ and myself want to talk about mindset today. Oh my God, yes, mindset. So, right before we went live, we picked a topic, and I was talking about how it doesn't matter what you do out there, whether you're a health consultant, whether you're a nutritionist, whether you're a business coach or an empowerment coach, that mindset is really part of all of them. And you have to do that piece because it's critical. Because even if you know all the processes and stuff like that, if your mind doesn't catch up to what you're doing, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It really won't. And just quickly, when I came online to help. I wasn't even thinking about business. My head was not there. I just wanted to help. It was a terrible time in our country with COVID. And I said, people are looking for answers. Let me help. Right. So when people started to reach out to me, my head wasn't even there. Oh, Andrea, we need something. Okay, here you go. And I kept giving everything away. Right. I would still do that today, but my head hadn't caught up. So business was nowhere in the thought process for me. And until people said, well, are you in business? I said, I guess I really am.
Yes. Yes, I
But
am.
so, but until my brain didn't catch there. And that's what I mean. So what are your thoughts about this?
I think you're right. I mean, you and I are very similar in that we want to help people. And I think that my entire life I was told you go above and beyond, you do 110%, you put all the effort in and you give and give and give and give till there's nothing left to give. And same for me. Like when I had my brick and mortar cafe, my whole goal was having people have this amazing meal experience. And I often would have people be like, "Oh, can I get a free dessert?" Or can I get a free coffee? And I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? And then it's like, you're in a business, you are doing a service to these people, you should be paid accordingly. And the same thing, like people get into business, but if they don't run it like a business, like it's a friendship thing, or I'm just here to serve and give you what I can give you without being compensated for the value that I'm providing you, it's not really a business. It's kind of like your lifestyle.
Yes. So I agree with that wholeheartedly because I do give a lot of free stuff, right?
Yes, you
And
do.
for dear friends too, one of my girlfriends is going through a really hard time in her life right now. She has cancer, so she's always healthier when she's at my house, right? So we've been friends since we were kids. So now she kind of needs that help, and I've never turned my back on her, but her mind is not there yet. Not being me it being a business, but her mind is not there yet because she's hearing so many different things around immunotherapy and all this other stuff that she already thinks like she has a year to live. So I'm trying to work on the mind part of that, right? But you have to let people work through their grief, right? So and I think that every stage of business or life or friendships do have these points that you have to almost go through that grieving process, right? So um to let things go. Like there's people as you grow that you will not take with you. You just won't because they either they won't be supportive or they just can't wrap their heads around who you're becoming, right? And they want the old you, and you say, well, that's not good anymore because I want to elevate myself, right? So there's that certain grief involved because you kind of wish that they could come with you,
Yeah.
but that's not going to work, right? And in business too, like every stage you go to, well, this is the fun section. Why do I have to go here where it starts to get hard, right? I like it over here where it's safe, right? So you kind of grieve in that safety as you're progressing. So, and your mind does have to go to certain places, right? So when you first come online, you want to make that first dollar, right? So that there's a repeatable system that this actually works, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to go from that dollar to that 5,000 because you're still thinking about that dollar. I made a dollar. Oh my God, right? So every level you have to kind of upgrade your mindset too, right? And you have to
Absolutely.
be that person that you're planning on becoming, right? You have to step into that person now. So if you want to be a millionaire, you can't be squabbling over $10 that you're paying for something, right? And a lot of people don't get that. They say, well, I don't have a problem with abundance, but abundance, like the energy in our body, has different levels, right? So whatever energy level you're at in your body is going to keep keep happening in your life, right? So if you're still worrying about, the finances and all those things, it's you're going to keep worrying because that's what's going to keep drawing you in, right? It's hard to think about having money to run a business when you're worried about the Con Ed bill or you're worried about other things, right? So you do have to up level a different games to right to change. Just like when you were playing Pac-Man, right? There's different levels at every stage. Well, business is just like a game like Pac-Man. It's all about mindset and up leveling your game, right? So, what do you think about that?
I think it's, a lot of people out there I see they're claiming, oh, I can help you get to 10K, 20K, 30K, 50K months. And I'm thinking you're going after people who cannot wrap their brain around making $100, $1,000. And here you're telling them this big, huge, hairy, audacious goal that you can get them to 30K, and people are just like imploding because they can't get their mind around it. And I always tell people it's about your mindset. You either think you can or you think you can't, and whatever that is, if you can't, if you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. And it's always a conscious effort, a daily choice. Sometimes for people, it's a minute by minute, moment by moment choice to be intentional about your mindset. And people are like, oh, but I have to think about what I'm thinking about all the time. Yes, because otherwise you're going to fall back to those old set patterns because that's all you know. I mean, think about it. I've been 5 decades of being told, do as I say, not as I do, you know, children ever seen, not heard. I had to make a conscious choice to break free from that. I had to make a conscious decision that I get to choose every single day how I'm going to be at, how I'm going to act, what I want out of my life. And I don't have to just stay in that, like, okay, here's what you're expected to do. Here's what we think you should do. And I get to go every day, every morning. I get to go, okay, who do I want to be today? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to help? What energy and time am I willing to exchange for the idea of that I want to be a leader in my own business? That's very important. I think a lot of people get into business wanting to just be in business and help others and make money, but they don't want to lead. And it starts with leading yourself and being that leadership in your own space before you can ever try to lead a team or build a team or build something really significant. You have to learn to lead yourself. And the most important thing for leading yourself is your
I
mindset.
want to agree with that wholeheartedly. So, I hired a team before my business really started, right? Because I said if I have a team, I'll be prepared, right? But
Mm-hmm.
trying to manage them because I was so busy doing everything myself was difficult, you know? And even still, sometimes when I go on vacation or, if there's a holiday and I go back to doing things for myself because I'm working on something new, it's always easier for me because I know where that vision is ending, right? So, and working with other people is very different. But I like how you said to be the leader and be your boss. And I think a lot of people do get stuck exactly where you said, where with that 5,000 and that 10,000 stuff. Because, if you're just starting out as a coach and consultant, you don't belong charging $5,000 for your services because you do need those growing pains, right? Because when you show up for the call, you're not going to be able to stand be when they say, how much is this? How much is this for your service? No, you're not even going to believe what that's saying because you really can't wrap your head around that yet, right? So, and a lot of people go from a $99 course that teaches them how to build, a PDF or a course to wanting to charge $5,000. And low ticket and high ticket are very different, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very different, right? And your mindset does have to be in that place because you really can't lead other people until you have actually walked that walk yourself, honestly. So I'm that person that doesn't like to pay people for certain things that I know I can do myself. That's not always a good thing, right? Because you do have to, and that's just because when we grew up, we were poor, right? So my mother, I saw my mother doing her own painting, all that stuff that you needed to do, my mother did, right? So I grew up becoming the do-it-yourself kid, right? But when it comes to being in business online, you can't expect people to pay you for services when you're not willing to pay to up level your game yourself, right? So because it is an investment, and every investment you make is an investment in yourself. So I kind of had to learn that the hard way, right? Because I didn't believe that, right? But I'm also that person that the more I do something, the easier it is for me to do, right? But I'd rather exchange my time, right? Your time is your money. So if I'm busy always here behind the scenes making all this stuff happen, then I'm not up front where I want to be, right? So you do have to decide what part of your business you want to be, right? So do you want to be that upfront person, or do you want to be the person in the background just collecting money and let other people sell you stuff up front, right? So there's different levels of business. So we're always here for you guys. You could ask us anything. And we made mistakes. Everybody does. Everybody makes mistake in their business. You don't come online and just show up one day and start making tens of thousands of dollars like people tell you you do. You just don't. You can create repeatable income and repeatable systems. And sometimes I think low ticket is better for that, right? Like let's say people want to get healthy. 7 tricks to eat healthier meals, right? You can create things like that because people will buy those things that they need, right? And that's true as if it's $7 or $700 or $7,000. If somebody really needs what you are offering, they are going to pay for that because the time it takes them to figure it out is not worth all the time it takes them to figure it out, right? So
Exactly.
it's easier to pay you to teach them how to do that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think, if it's a low ticket product, like you said, $7, people can, in their head, they can explain that. They can argue for that, like, oh, $7, that's less than I pay for my coffee at Starbucks in a trip. So $7 to get the 7 tools that are gonna help me eat better, great, no problem. I can afford $7. I think that the one thing that's coming and is landing in my head when we were talking is about there's a saying that don't expect someone else to invest in you unless you're willing to invest in you. And I think that people think that that's all about money. Oh, so I have to go search for a coach or I have to get somebody else to teach me. No, it's about investing the daily time and energy into your mindset to help you to believe in yourself that you're capable of doing absolutely anything that you want to do in your life. People think that it's all about money and they make it about money. And like you and I, we grew up poor. Of course, we're not going to spend extra money to, go buy that thing when we can try and figure it out for ourselves and do the things. And a lot of people are still in that mindset. When I first came into the online space, I was in desperation mode, man. I was like, I need to make money. I need to be able to pay my bill for my cafe. My business is going to implode because COVID shut me down. I was like, I need money. And what did I put out there? Desperation. All I got was people who are like, oh, the same for me. This happened with me. And it was totally like nobody was going to give me any money because I didn't think that what I was providing them was of value until I got really set in the idea that my mindset, I needed to flip that mindset. Like, I'm not in desperation. I want to share my story. I want to help other people not feel this way too. And so, really, the thing that clicked for me was I need to invest in myself, not necessarily money out the gate in the forefront, but time and take the time to sit with myself and go, what is it you really want out of your life? What have you accomplished so far? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I can't do that because I wasn't born and raised or I wasn't brought up in a family that of people who are business owners or this or that. Anybody can be a business owner. You have to make yourself believe it. You have to work on the mindset to give yourself permission to not stay where you were and to really be able to invest that energy and time to believe in yourself and give yourself permission to take the time to build the courage to say, I can do this. I want this so bad that I'm not going to be that old me anymore. I'm going to be somebody new, somebody exciting, somebody who lives with eager anticipation to, do the things that I see other people doing that excite me. And it's all comes back to mindset.
It absolutely comes back to mindset, and whatever you decide to do, it really does have to be something true to who you are. So, if you've never taught gymnastics, you're not coming out here teaching people how to be a gold medal winner. It just doesn't
Exactly.
work, right? So there's a lot of people out there telling you that there are certain categories that you must be in to make money, right? Health, wealth, business, all that stuff, right? So, um, and that doesn't work for everybody. So I was watching when I first came online, I was involved with this course creation, and there was a woman who was teaching people how to take amazing photos on their iPhone, right? And she was charging a lot of money for that. And I said, who's going to pay for that, right? And then when it came time for me to start doing videos, guess who couldn't take a great picture on their iPhone? Yes, me. I absolutely could not. So I said, well, I would have paid for that, right? So everything hits people at different times in their life, right? So you don't have to be in this big wealth space or this big romance space for to you have to be good at what you do, and it has to be a service that somebody wants. And there are millions of services out there. So it's about finding what you do really well and just sharing that with the world. It's really that simple,
Exactly.
and working at it and perfecting it. So I do health, and mindset. CJ does health and mindset, right? But we have different personalities, right? And CJ's kind of that in your face, like she's seriously, oh, come on, stop, but she's giving people permission to say it's okay to be that queen by design, right? So I'm more of the behind the scenes type of girl, but we're different people in other ways too. We're a lot alike, but we're different ways too. And people are attracted to different personalities. So if you're in health for 50 years or 5 minutes, there's going to be different people that are attracted to you and what you're sharing and what you're offering. So don't feel like the online space is too crowded, because that's not true. There are billions and billions of people out there, and there's somebody that connects to everybody. There's always somebody out there that feels just like you did in that time, right? And you really do only have to be a few steps ahead of someone else, right? So someone who's just starting in business probably is nowhere near someone who's been in business a year, 2 years, 3 years. And you should really start at the level you're at and build from there, right? Because when you try to go from this square to this circle, it just doesn't happen, right?
Exactly. I think I was laughing when you said that because I feel like, there's this myth out there. People are like, fake it till you make it, pretend you're that million. No, be who you are, because I guarantee you that someone out there is praying for the solution that you have that is the person that you are right now in this moment in this space. If you try to claim that you're something that you're not, people can sense that a mile away, and people really want genuine people who have been where they might be now and have, like you said, just two steps ahead. They don't want somebody who they can't believe, like, oh, I can get there. No, they want somebody who's like, okay, let me take your hand, let me help you. It's just a giant leap over this fence and you can get to where you want to be. So somebody out there is looking for exactly the person that you are right now today. So just be authentically you and put forth the energy of being confident in who you are today, the mindset of knowing that you were put on this earth for a purpose, that each and every one of us was created on purpose, exactly as we are, because we're that intricate piece that somebody else is searching for to lock hands with, to be able to be like, okay, I always liken it to the frame of a puzzle. I just need one person on this side of me to lock arms with and one person on this side, and that locking those pieces of the puzzle together is going to make all three of us grow to the next step to where we want to be.
I like that. It's a great pictorial. Hmm. So, guys, this is Real Life of the Entrepreneurs. I'm Anjanette, and this is CJC Boy telling you the truth and nothing but the truth. We hope you're having a great day. Take care.